Hey guys! So today I'm going to talk about how I became interested in heavy metal music and why it is now one of my favorite genres. Most people are surprised to learn that about me. I don't know what it is. Do I have a sweet face? Maybe it's the fact that I own a business. I'm not sure, but I love heavy metal, and I'm going to kind of explain to you guys why, where that started, what some of my favorite bands were, favorite songs, all that stuff. And I'm also going to share some more like deep, real, vulnerable type stuff too, but this video is mostly going to be fun. So what do I mean when I say heavy metal? And before you ask, yes, I am wearing the Bring Me the Horizon t-shirt that I got in high school. Check that baby out. It's even got some violent things on the back. So I first became interested in heavy metal when I was in 6th grade. I remember being in the car on vacation and my cousin Tony had Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory CD in the car. I put it in my CD player, I listened to it, and my life was forever changed. I started following the band, fell in love with Chester Bennington, RIP, and still to this day, Linkin Park is one of my favorite bands. My favorite song by Linkin Park is Paper Cut, followed by One Step Closer, followed by a lot of their other songs, but really Hybrid Theory is where it's at, man. So the first reason I loved this music so much is because it gave me an immediate sense of power. It empowered me. At this age, grade school age, I was nerdy. I had my core group of friends, but I really wanted to fit in with the cool kids and to be accepted by them. And I had a lot of angst and a lot of anger around the fact that I felt like I wasn't good enough or wasn't cool enough to be in their circles. So this music really helped me deal with that. And also following Chester's story, I remember watching the Linkin Park documentary and just kind of hearing more about Chester's life and how he was nerdy too. He was not accepted, he was made fun of, and like, look at where he is now. He was like someone I idolized. So I found a lot of power in that. The second reason, it made me unique. It made me feel unique. It was something that not a lot of other people were interested in, especially females. So it was a way for me to feel special. I remember like telling people like, yeah, I like metal. And they're like, you like metal? Like, that's awesome. Hey, what up? So it just made me feel cool. The third reason, and I'm about to get like really serious on you guys, but the third reason was growing up, I shared this a while back. There were a few times where I was sexually molested, and it was by my godfather. So he was someone who was pretty close to my family. I met him through my babysitter growing up, and like their whole family was very close to our family. And I just remember after that experience, I was young when that happened, probably like 6 or 7 years old. And then the older I got, I didn't tell anyone. So when I first started listening to metal, I still had not told anyone what had happened to me. And I found a lot of power in the music. And to be quite honest, as I got older, I started wearing more black clothes. I started listening to Evanescence. I remember getting, if you guys remember Amy Lee always wearing, I don't know if she still does, but she always wore like these skirts, like the skirts you would see at Hot Topic, like these really big skirts that come down here and they go all the way to the bottom. They'd be like very gothic, like some netting, some just black skirts. So anyway, I started wearing stuff like that. I got my hot pink Chucks. I got like more outfits like this. And what I was really hoping is that he would come around and he would see who I was. Like I would purposefully, if I knew he was coming over, I would purposely have my music on me. I would try to wear darker clothes. And I honestly wanted him to think that he had turned me into a devil worshiper. I wanted him to think that he had screwed up my life so bad and screwed up my mental state so bad. And I wanted him to feel bad about what he had turned me into. And I don't know that I've ever told anyone that. Maybe my mom. I'm not even sure if my mom knows, but there it is. And I don't know. I'm not sad about it anymore. It's a part of who I was growing up. It was how I coped with like that happening in my life. And now it's past me. And really those three reasons are what fueled me to continue listening to the music. And now I truly just love the music. When I turn it on, even if the lyrics are negative, I don't hear negative things. I hear things that just make me want to get out and like kick butt and just like live my best life. Just quick PSA before I continue. If you have been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Tell someone. I know you may feel, how I personally felt was disgusting. I felt gross that it had happened to me. I felt really embarrassed that I had not told anyone for all of these years. It just made me feel horrible. And even saying the words out loud, I was shaking, my voice was shaking, and it's still the memory to me feels like a very, very dirty, bad memory that I hate thinking about. But in saying something, I was able to take this guy to court and put him in jail for, I think, 6 years. So I'm hoping that not only did that give me closure, but I'm hoping it also prevented other people from being hurt by this person. You're not alone. People will be there for you. There's support. There's so many resources online. Say something. Another reason that I loved this music was generally, like, my parents, if they knew the lyrics, probably would not want me listening to it. They were not thrilled about me listening to this music, which, of course, when you're a teenager, you're like, all right, sign me up. My next favorite band was Evanescence, and my favorite song of theirs, I still love all of these bands to this day. My favorite song of theirs is Going Under. Have you heard that song? It's so good. My next favorite band was System of a Down. So I think my favorite song from System of a Down would be, that's a hard one. I don't know. I really like Aerials. I really like BYOB. But I also liked some of their originals from one of the, I don't know if it was their first album or just one of the earlier albums, but like the Prison Song, Psycho, you know, all that stuff. I was just like an angsty teenager, like, Slipknot. Right? Have you guys listened to them? Pretty heavy stuff. My favorite songs by them are, I of course like Duality, but from that same album, if I'm saying it correctly, Vermilion, I think that's how it's said. Part 1 and Part 2, but mostly Part 1. Okay, next band that I really liked, Atreyu. Pretty much all surrounded around being a vampire and sucking blood and death and all of that stuff. Right? Yeah. Metal hand. Gotta do my metal hand. My favorite song by Atreyu, I loved Bleeding Mascara. That was one of my favorites. Okay, and I know this is not metal, but I can't not talk about it in my progression of music that I love. My Chemical Romance. The best. The best of the best. I'm trying to think. I think my favorite My Chemical Romance song, like, of course the classics, like I'm Not Okay and Helena and all that, but I really like the song The Ghost of You. And then I came into the Bring Me the Horizon phase, which is still one of my all-time favorite bands. I came across them in high school. I went to an all-girls high school freshman year, and then I switched to a co-ed high school, Connor High School, sophomore year, and met some scene boys who introduced me to Bring Me the Horizon, and I fell in love with this band, with the lead singer, Ollie Sykes. Loved him. I've probably seen them at this point with my sister, I think maybe 9 times. They're amazing. Live, they're so good. I'm just looking here because I originally was going to tell you guys what, I was conflicted on my favorite song, but my hands down favorite song is Sleepwalking from the Sempiternal album. Love that entire album, but from the original, like the first album I heard, Count Your Blessings, I really like Braille for Stevie Wonder's Eyes Only, and then Medusa, which is the song I played earlier. It's just so scream. It's like incomprehensible. Like, I know this, but when I was younger, I looked up all the lyrics. I still know all the lyrics to the songs. They're awful. They're absolutely horrible. But for whatever reason, it gets me pumped up when I listen to it. So I got into a lot of bands after that, but Bring Me the Horizon is still my all-time favorite. I then got really into Breathe Carolina, back when they were more like screamo rock and not as much whatever they are now. I don't know what the category is. So Breathe Carolina, A Day to Remember, love them. Our Last Night, that's a newer one. I didn't find them until maybe last year. Listening to their cover of the song Humble, which if you haven't listened to it is amazing. And of course, Memphis Mayfire. They hold a very near and dear special place in my heart because I've been able to, over the last few years, me and my team have been able to work with Brittany Mullins, who is the lead singer, Maddie, his wife. She has a charity foundation called Beneath the Skin, and we do all of their website work. That is how I became a metalhead, and I still really, really love metal music.